Okay, do I have more participants coming or I should start? Because we have to do certain numericals today. Excuse me.
Ma'am, don't we have holiday today?
I don't know. We have Valmiki Jayanti today, but I could not find the calendar. Otherwise, I would have confirmed. So I
In
thought,
calendar it was given, ma'am.
oh, that's why, they've not come.
Even for
Chalo.
juniors, it is informed that today is holiday.
Okay, so you don't want me to conduct the class or should I do something? Should I just take it for 15-20 minutes and leave?
Your wish, ma'am. Anything is fine.
Okay, chalo, we'll just revise. We'll do one numerical and finish. All right. So just
Okay,
because I've
ma'am.
logged in now, so I don't want to leave without teaching. Otherwise, if you would have informed me earlier, I would not have taken the class. चलो मुझे बता दिया करो अगर कभी हो तो because I was not able to locate the calendar in my inbox. I was looking for it. All right. So last lecture we were talking about memory hierarchy and how it improves the performance. So we discussed cache as the first level in the hierarchy, and we also discussed that it's a volatile memory. Now, in the very first go, when any address comes from the processor to the cache for a read operation, it has a certain address, right? So this address, which is called as a physical address, is dissociated into tag, index, and offset, right? And right, लिखा नहीं जा रहा, offset, yeah. Okay, now the address matching takes place with the respective tag index in the offset of the cache, and if a match is found, the respective read operation is completed, right? Now, when we have this address matching which is taking place, the first thing that matches is the index. Index is always given as log base 2 of the number of sets in the cache. So we all know cache is subdivided into smaller units called blocks, and we can have some blocks grouped up as a set, right? So there will be a set index which will be used to identify the set number in the cache. आ रहा है समझ आ रहा है मैं रिवाइज करा रही हूँ बिकॉज एक न्यूमेरिकल कराऊंगी एंड देन आई विल लीव ठीक है इज इट फाइन
Yes, ma'am.
okay now these groups of blocks which are grouped as one set make the set to be called as n-way set associative cache. So if I call the cache as n-way set associative, this means one set has n blocks which are grouped together, right? Blocks. Now, the first thing that matches is the index to locate the set number. So it locates the respective set number, and then before the tag we have a very very important bit which is called as the valid bit or the V bit. If for the first instance when we have just switched on the power, the cache is empty, all the valid bits of all entries would be zeros. So now no further mapping takes place. The processor realizes that the respective cache location is empty and there is no need to, look for a data over here. And then it is a case of a cache miss, right? So we discussed we can have a cache miss on two options. One is when the cache is empty and the other one is when the address does not match, right? Now, the cache is empty, it is a case of a cache miss. Just a minute. Okay, so um, the address goes to the next hierarchical level in the memory, and suppose this has the respective data unit, right? And then the respective data unit is picked up from the main memory, put on the data bus, and brought into the CPU. But side by side, A cash placement policy is followed, and that depends upon how do we place data units in the cache. That depends upon what? Speak up. No one? That depends upon the type of cache that we have. If it is a fully associative cache, it is very simple. See, processor से address आया. This is the first case of switching power on after an off state. ठीक है? This means cache is empty. But every block in the cache has its own address. That address is not gone. ना? Address तो वही है. Memory का एक address होता है. वो address location तो वही है. So what happens? The address that comes, it gets dissociated into tag, index, and offset, right? The first thing that matches is the set index. So the index locates the set number. Then before matching the tag and the offset, the next thing that is looked for is the valid bit. If it is a case of switching power on after an off state, this means the valid bit has to be a 0. There is nothing in the blocks of the cache. खाली पड़े हैं. ठीक है? So what happens? Okay. So what happens? It sees that the address sees that the address which is come here, the physical address which is come here, sees the respective valid bits of all blocks as zeros. This means there is no need for further matching. Everything is empty in the cache. So it's a case of a cache miss. Now, a case of a cache miss when the cache is empty obviously leads the address to go to the next level in the hierarchy, which is the main memory, right? And in the main memory, now suppose I'm just assuming that data is available, right? And if data is available here, the processor picks up the data from there and suffices its needs. But by the time the data has been picked up, see, cache works on locality, right? So the processor ensures that next time it should not incur a miss from the cache. So it places a copy of the data in the cache also, depending upon what type of cache it is having. So if it is a fully associative, सारा किया तो था last time, तो revise करा रही हूँ बस. So if it is a fully associative cache, the copy can be created anywhere in the cache, right? If it is a direct mapped cache, the placement makes the is done by a formula. So we all know that the formula is block number from the main memory mod the number of blocks in the cache. You will get a remainder. That remainder number is the actual location of the block that has to be in the cache where it has to be placed from the main memory, right? Getting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, अब इसके ऊपर बेस न्यूमेरिकल करना है तो थोड़ा सा रिवाइज करा रही हूँ. If it is a set mapped cache, so if it is a set associative cache, what should happen now? We find the set number, right? So block number mod the number of sets in the cache, we get the respective set number, and in that set you place the block anywhere, but depending upon bit selection, right? This was the case of a cache miss when the cache was empty. Now, suppose the cache is full. It's a smaller buffer than the main memory, obviously. So it cannot have everything which is there in the main memory. Again, it depends upon locality, what all we can place in the cache. Now, another address comes. So another physical address comes, and now cache is full, right? So what it does, it looks for the address in the cache again. So it gets dissociated into tag, index, and offset. The first thing that will match will be your index. The respective set will be located. Then the valid bit would be checked for. What should be the value of the valid bit now?
One.
Yeah, obviously one. I hope I'm not teaching very fast.
A little bit, ma'am. Fast.
अच्छा, चलो ठीक है. So we discussed a case of a cache miss when the cache was empty. Any address that comes to the cache and when cache is empty has to incur a miss. But what happens on a cache miss that we discussed? So if the address has come, the first job is to dissociate the address into a tag, index, and an offset, right? And then the first thing that matches is the index to locate the set number. So here the set number is located, and then the next thing that is looked for is the valid bit. Since first case was the case of a cache being empty, the valid bit had to be 0 and no further address mapping takes place. Because that means that cache is empty. No, why will we waste time in address mapping anymore? So what happens? Um, the address now goes to the main memory and picks up the data from there. We are right now considering the case that the data is available in the main memory. Okay, we are presuming that the data is available in the main memory. Okay, now when it picks up the data block from there, it does not want to suffer a miss again. So it places a copy of the data in the cache depending upon whether the cache is fully associative, it will place anywhere. If it is a direct map, it will calculate based upon a formula. And if it is a set associative, it locates the set number. And inside the set, which block it wants to place, that depends upon bit selection. ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, if suppose now doing all this, having misses in the cache and going to the main memory, the cache becomes full now. So for the first go, the cache is totally full. All the blocks are occupied, right? Now, another address comes from the CPU and it wants to look for a data block. And then again, the physical address gets dissociated into tag, index, and offset. The procedure is still the same. The first thing that matches is the index to locate the set number. तो फिर से उसने set locate कर दिया इसमें. अब set locate कर दिया तो next चीज वो क्या देखेगा tag से पहले?
Valid bit.
Yes. Now the valid bit should be
1.
it has to be 1 now because you know the cache is full, data blocks are there, it is not 0, it is 1. So this means that address mapping can take place. Now the next thing that matches is the tag. And one very interesting thing that if you would have heard earlier about this, that all the tags are matched in parallel. So the tag matching takes place in parallel for number of blocks, right? And after the block is located, the respective offset is appended. We will take an example to tell you how address mapping takes place. And the offset is appended to get the respective data from the block, right? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, this was a case of a cache hit. Address मिल गया. But suppose वो address ही नहीं मिला. ऐसा ज़रूरी तो नहीं है ना कि all the addresses which are there in the main memory should be in the cache also. It's not necessary. है ना? It's a smaller unit. See, everything which is in the main memory cannot be brought and kept in the cache. Main memory is larger. Cache is smaller. Obviously, it should have the most recently accessed units only. Now, the address comes and it is dissociated into tag, index, and offset. The set number is located, but the respective block is not found. The address does not match. Then again, it's a case of a
Cache miss.
yes. Now, if it is a cache miss, again the procedure says that go to the next hierarchical level in the memory and look for the respective address and the data, right? Now, the address goes to the main memory, it picks up the data unit and brings it inside. But then next time it does not want to have a miss. So what it does is it creates the copy of that data into the cache depending upon three replacement policies. Remember, what was that?
Random, least, recently used, and FIFO.
Very good. And we had the FIFO. So random means place the data anywhere in the cache. कोई भी एक block को replace कर लो. Least recently used means we have a counter with every block's usage, which counts how many times the respective block has been used, and that block is replaced. So the one which is least used means not very, if it depends upon locality, the one which is least used might not be used again. So we replace that block. Now, FIFO means सबसे oldest block जो आया था, चाहे वो use भी हो रहा हो, maybe it is used also, right? So the oldest block that is entered into the cache is allowed to be replaced. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, I will not start with a new topic today. I will just make you solve one numerical and then I will leave. Okay. And next time, if there is a holiday, please do inform me in advance. Okay, I'll just stop share and open the slide. All right. So let us do the numerical one. We'll just do one numerical today so that uh, next time we can have it with the entire class. All right. So the question is here on the screen. I'll just hide the answer. Yes. It says consider a direct mapped cache with a block size of 4 kilobytes. The size of the main memory is 16 gigabytes and there are 10 bits in the tag. Find the index and the block offsets fields. Also find the size of the cache memory. Anyone who just wants to try it. So we in the cache, we are given the block size. I'll just copy this question. I'm not able to do it. Children, never mind. So we can just solve this question. Okay. So this says that we have a direct map cache first of all, and the block size is given, right? तो ये हमारे पास कैश आ गई और ये आ गई आपकी मेन मेमोरी. कैश में you have one block size as 4 kilobytes. The size of the main memory is 16 GB. Okay, and main memory size is 16 GB. GB. Yeah. There are 10 bits in the tag. So for the cache, if we have, okay, we have this diagram. It says 10 bits are there in the tag already. Fine. One more thing, in literature, you might find the set index referred to as line number. So this term can be used, okay. Find the index in the block offset fields. Also find the size of the cache. Can we find the size of the cache, anyone? The answer is also there with you on the screen. If you, any one of you can just explain me how it is done. No? Okay. The address that has come from the processor The address that has come from the processor here is the physical address, right? And by default, when it encounters the cache, it gets dissociated into tag, index, and offset. Tag is already mentioned to us right now. We've been told to find the index and the offset. Offset is obviously given as log base 2 of the block size. We all remember? So it is log base 2 of your block size. And block size.
Block.
Mhm. बोलो बोलो क्या
Ma'am, it is block offset only.
हाँ तो that's what I'm saying, no? Block offset. Block offset is given as log base 2 of your block size, and the block size is taken in bytes, right? Since right now these are 4k bytes, this means 2 raised to power 10 gives me 1k, 11 gives me 2k, and 2 raised to power 12 gives me 4k. Accordingly, I have 12 bits as the offset. समझ आ रहा है?
Yes, ma'am.
Right now we have found the offset, we have the tag. If we have the total address length, we can obviously find the index bits also. Now the total address that has come from the processor is always in relevance with the main memory physical address. So it's always called as because of the physical memory, the physical address. And the memory size is given as 16 GB. How much is 1 GB? 2 raised to the power how much?
30.
30.
30.
30.
Yeah, 31 makes 2, 32 makes 4, um, 33 makes 8, 34 makes 16, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So this means log base 2 of your main memory size gives you your physical address, which comes out to be 34 bits now, right? Total address, this one. I'll just draw here. Yeah. So this total is 34. Tag is 10. Offset is 12. How much is the index? 34 minus
12.
22? Yeah.
12.
So we have 12 bits for the index. I guess this is what we were asked. Yeah, I think we found out everything. Now the only one thing which is left to be found is the cache size. Now cache size obviously will be number of blocks into your block size. Block size is given, it's 4 kilobytes. How about the number of blocks? Anyone? Just try it out ना थोड़ा सा. You should try out something. अगर आप वर्कआउट करोगे तो आपको समझ आएगा बेटर. सिर्फ सुनने से you should always keep yourself working on it. If it is a direct mapped cache, how many sets do we have in a direct mapped cache?
One.
In a fully associative cache, we have one set and n blocks. In a direct mapped cache, the number of blocks is equal to the number of sets.
Set.
The set index bits identify what? Log base 2 of number of sets in the cache, I said. Remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this means the number of sets is equal to the number of blocks. 2 raised to power 12 is the number of blocks and 2 raised to power 12 is the number of sets also. In a direct mapped cache. ये आपको एक बार पढ़ना पड़ेगा खुद से भी. Otherwise you'll forget. See, I've been telling you again and again that I'll just draw it again for you. We have this cache, right? In this cache, we might have n blocks. So 1, 2, so on up to your n. Now, for all the n blocks, if it is a direct map cache, this means there is one block per one set. So if it is a direct map cache, right here, if it is a direct mapped cache, it will have one block per one set. Just a minute, just a minute. All right. Now, if I would have had a fully associative cache, in that case, this entire would be one set. See what it means. This means that for a direct map cache, every set index would be different. है ना? And if it is a fully mapped cache, fully associative cache, you will have one set for the entire cache. Where is it gone? Yeah. तो एक सेट इंडेक्स पूरी कैश में जाएगा, वो चेंज नहीं होगा. And we have, this is why we studied all these concepts, we have to utilize them now. So one set and all blocks will have the same set index. Which cache am I talking about? This one? This is
Fully
yeah,
associative.
this is a fully associative. And if it is a direct map, this means every block will have a new set index. ठीक है, clear है? And what about set associative cache? That is very simple. You have n blocks per one set, so maybe 2 blocks per one set we have. So these 2 blocks will have the same set index. The next ones will have a next one. So maybe these 2 will have the same index. The next 2 will have a same index, but they will be different from each other. I hope it's clear now.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Yes,
right. So I'll not teach more. If anybody has any doubt, you can ask me, or I'll just finish off with the class. The next time I'll just start with the numericals and I'll not revise anymore. No doubts? Nothing? Okay, chalo, ठीक है. Okay, बच्चे. Ending the class.